Hmm. Okay, so live all the way from South Africa. Kobus Visser the Viking here. Cheers. Yeah, so what am I here today? I promised myself I will live stream every day. So live streaming service is not sharing on TikTok tonight. So I'm separately on TikTok. I'm saying I'm a little bit far, so let me just move a little bit closer. Okay. So now I can look between the two cameras and just share a little bit. Welcome to everyone. Let me know where you're from in the chat box. Tonight, it's all about current affairs, news, especially in the business environment. First time in the history that Pick n Pay is not going to have any Ackerman of the family in the business, on the board, or serving as a CEO. Two new people have been selected to be there. Søren Summers is back, and a new board member has been chosen. So it's just interesting how the world of business works. You think it will last forever. So how come some families do it, create a legacy of business that lasts forever? There's a tattoo shop. If I'm correct, I think it's in Israel. That is 700 years old. Then there's a business in Japan. It's over like 900 years old, and it's still in the family. It's like 12, 13, 14th generation. So it is possible. But the question comes down to why is it still not possible? Is that I think it's two things. It's that one story about the Arabics that have created the story of a poor man creates good times. Good times creates it basically goes from being on a camel, then getting into a Ferrari, and then flying jets. And then basically the kids come and they go down from jets to driving Ferraris. Before you know, they're starting riding camels again. So it's sort of that generation loop. Some of you might know that story a little bit much better than I do, but it's because life is created such a way that our next generation of kids don't have the same drive. I'm working with a family business now, and it's two brothers and a sister. The sister doesn't have kids. The one brother has a daughter, and the other brother has a son. All of them wants to go do something different. The only option is for the one son to join the business. Now, what if he doesn't want to, or something happens to him? What happens to the business? There's no next generation. There's no next future. And life has changed so much in the Western world that we don't have enough kids anymore. We don't make more kids. So that really impacts our businesses. And then we look at in South Africa's environment, the biggest one is there was an empire, was Pick n Pay with the Ackermans that have created this powerhouse of a business and have created it. So they've created this empire, and today they are closing down stores. Now, the funny thing, as I need to say this, the funny thing, Pick n Pay that was bigger than Shoprite Checkers in total, right? Was bigger. It's now like 3 or 4 times smaller than what Checkers is today. That's the one. The second thing is also, if you think about business and the environment we are today, we'll complain about how bad business is. Business is struggling. Let's think, are you a Pick n Pay, for example, complaining the market, the economy, everything is bad? Or are you Shoprite Checkers that sees Pick n Pay closing down and says, we will take your store, and we all created Shoprite Checkers there, and it becomes one of their flag stores. Can you believe that? That's a story that I just read on Business today, is that Pick n Pay closed one of their stores and Checkers opened it up, and it opened up one of their flag stores in there. And they're so excited about the business that they come. And yet Pick n Pay said that was one of their worst spots they had to close down. So are you the one that's going to be like Pick n Pay, all complaining about that business is not good, or you're going to be Checkers? But to be able to be Checkers comes down to planning and foresight and visionary, and building on the legacy that we come from. But you can also be stuck by the legacy, is to say we have done this for the last 20 years, we should keep doing it, or are we going to change the way we do things and we're going to level up, we're going to innovate? And I think that's where Checkers set apart. They were creating for the future. They were innovating their tasks. So I just want to welcome everyone that is joining my live tonight. One of three streak this week. So let's have foresight and innovation. and not to be stuck in the way that things have been done. Because I said last night in my live is that there's a before COVID, the BC, and there's an AC after COVID. After COVID's way of doing business is not the same as it was being done before COVID. We need to realize that life has changed, the world has changed. So business is important. Now we look at the industry. What is happening is that what Trump is doing, and it is having an effect in South Africa. And I don't think we all realize the impact it will have on South Africa if suddenly 80,000 jobs goes like this. Now, let me give you sort of a sum what impact it is. Always multiply it by 8. There's been studies done in the past that I've read, and I might misquote it, but it was somewhere what I read was times 8. For every person that is employed, they impact 8 other people. So imagine either employing 100 people will impact 1,000 people. But if you lose work and people are getting unemployed, that impacts 8 other people, if not even more. And I don't think we realize this. And this is why the call out in for South Africa is to sort of like, shucks, man, we need more entrepreneurs. We need more business owners. We need to grow our businesses and scale up. And one way of doing that is to let our voices be heard. At the moment, South Africa does not understand the power of what they're doing. They're killing businesses at the moment. So there's a family business in Limpopo that EFF is now closing down. That is eliciting money from them. Can you believe that? Wanting money from them all their lives, or they will be closed down. There's multiple businesses. It's not just one. So I'm talking about a few now that I know, where they close down the businesses, asking for money. It has the thing to say, I know where you stay if you don't pay us, if you don't come to the point. And I think that is stuff like that makes me angry and angry tonight, because they make it difficult. And so there's one business that I'm talking about that is happening. Do you know what they're doing? They're already planning on closing some of their businesses like that already. They're thinking about, they're not going to keep them open. They're already planning on which ones they're going to scale down, because it's not worth the pain and the effort and the energy to be able to go through this, where you constantly get attacked by the red caps. I'm calling them red caps because that's just probably a better name than calling them out by what it is. But that's what the world is. So an entrepreneur, everyone thinks it's sunshine and roses. It is challenging. And then you get to a point where, if I look at, as an entrepreneur, we have to do whatever it takes to be in business and to grow. So we're setting up at Kragdag. So if anyone of you are there and you are tomorrow, Friday or Saturday available, come visit us at Kragdag. We're in 15th Lane. Come say hi to me and my team. Our business solution tents will be there with Van Studios, with Eugene and myself, with his team. So we're going to be there. Come get a signed copy of your book. But the nice thing is, when I was there, how many other businesses are still there, putting up, going for the effort. Now you think about it, it's from 8 till 5. So you have to set up, then it's from 8 to 5. So you have to be there. You have to get up at 6. You have to be there by 7, set up everything. The gates are opening at 8. You're there. You can't leave until 5 o'clock. So you get home at 6 o'clock, ready for the next day, and you're on your feet the whole day. That's what business is about. It's not the dream, I'm going to work for myself and I can work anytime I want to, and it's so sunshine and roses. No, it is 8 to 5. It's you either make yourself rich or you're making someone else rich. So, yeah. But anyway, I see Eve have joined. Nice, Eve. Nice. What's up, buddy? Nice to see you. Rockstar coach. I love you, man. And so, thinking about the rockstar coach that is in on it, is that sales is the number one thing why businesses. So sales and marketing. So I want to add marketing with it. Sales and marketing is when businesses are struggling, they're not doing enough sales and marketing. Yes, they're not having enough sales drive. And I've learned it from my friend, the rockstar coach, is that it comes down to sales. He says always, I remember at one point when my business was challenging, he says, how many calls have you made today? How many people have you phoned? How many people have you talked to? And, I can't say I just did one. I've like, Chris, you're not making enough calls. You're not enough in front of people. That's one reason why I'm doing this lives. It's to just talk. It's going to get more structured as I go along. But the thing is, if you're going to wait for perfection, it's never going to happen. It will never happen. You have to jump in and start building it. I think it was David Goggins that said this. When he starts now. He has an idea, he starts it. The other people that are the ones to start planning out. By the time he's found 10 ways of doing it better, they've only started implementing the first idea. So the idea is to start. Now, I could wait here for the perfect podcast room and a venue and camera equipment. And like, no, I can't. I have to have a team. I'm alone here in my office. All right. I have to have a team. We can have all of these excuses, but it's going to take 6, 7, 8 months. By the time we start, it's going to be too late, right? And so I said to myself and my team, okay, let me just start. Looked for software, found nice software, tested it out 2 nights ago, looked awesome. I did another first live last night, doing another one. Apart from TikTok that was thrown off, I have to apply again. They say I went against their community standards. I probably said something I shouldn't have said, so I don't know what it was, but that's why I have 2 cameras now. I'm live on both of them. And talking about, I'm going to talk about my perspective of what's happening in the business field, why businesses are failing and what they could have done better. All right. And if I think about Pick n Pay, they spend 400 million, 500 million plus, that's just for the Springboks. But remember, there's ad spend and other things on top of that as well over the next 4 years in the Springboks. And yet they're closing stores, they're laying off people. And then you think about common sense. Where's the common sense sometimes in these businesses? Just from my marketing background is I won't market to the men if I know women as the main ones that buy groceries. Yes, there is women watching sports. I'm not going to say women, want sports. There are of you. However, most of the demographic at the rugby games is men, right? I would rather find a different way, either involved in getting my stores that are running bad, go and invest in getting those staff up to running. I would run marketing campaigns in those areas to attract people. I would get my Pick n Pay, what is it called? You see, I don't even know what their 60/60 is. We all know 60/60. That's Checkers one. I would invent and I will put money on the marketing around our delivery service. Get that up and running, get it fast and efficient, sign up drivers, get it out there, put it out on women's, like wherever you are, we will deliver it, run a nice marketing campaign around that, right? Suddenly I will start driving people to our businesses. Then I would look at what is the number one staple food that people are buying. What are they really, is it bread, for example? I would give bread away for free for everyone that purchases 100 Rand or more, or something like that, right? So you would draw people into your stores because people are struggling financially. Let's be honest, it's true, right? So when they come to your stores, give them, and I remember Checkers when they started, Whitey Basson talks about, he went and saw chicken was the cheapest. And he bought all of the chicken and he gave it away at below cost price to attract people. And everyone created the perception. Every one of you have the perception that Checkers is the expensive, but they're not really that expensive, by the way. Cheap, by the way. They're much expensive. If you compare them to Woolworths is not so what our perception is, but we have a perception that Woolworths is higher class. It's expensive brand, and yet sometimes they and Checkers are the same price. And so brought in chicken, got people to, and that's how Checkers just boom. If you want to read an amazing biography, go read Whitey Basson's biography about Checkers and his career. That's amazing. There's so much lessons to learn. It's the same. Spur. Why is Spur still so available? Because Spur understood the principles around giving people a family environment experience, the happy birthday songs. I don't know if you remember the Salad Valley that they had. It was really something nice. People went there for the Salad Valley, and I think a lot of people still miss it. John Lee Special. I mean, if you remember John Lee Special, it was one of my favorites. One thing my dad taught us from a young age is to work in a restaurant, so how many of you had your first job as a waitress or a waiter, and probably it was at Spur of all places, by the way. So it's just nice to see that. I just want to shout out, I can't see everyone that is on my lives tonight, sorry about it. Something I will still invest in and see how I can get access to everyone's comments and so forth. However, like I said in the beginning, if you don't jump on and doing a call, you're never going to start. You're always going to have a reason why not to start. You can even see I'm in my bare feet tonight, sitting in celebrating my team, the Cheetahs. You know, they won the Pumas on the weekend. And I want to tell you a story. Is it okay if I tell you all a story? How many of you like to know a story? You know, on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, just shoot me a love, a heart, so I can see that you're seeing. So it's about the philosophy around whatever it takes. What is whatever it takes? Everyone always asks me, Cobus, what is whatever it takes? Now, whatever it takes is a philosophy, it's a mindset that we live without excuses, we live without justifying why we don't have what we have, and we stop blaming for what we don't have, right? Or what we do have. We take responsibility. But to take responsibility, we have to put in the work. You know, a lot of you are wanting out there, oh, God, please bless me. And then you sit and wait and do nothing. That's why it's called, you know, it's an action, faith in action, words in action, you know, it's to take action, but action with a plan. When you plant seeds, you can't just plant seeds everywhere. You have to prepare the ground beforehand. So you have to do the work. So a friend of mine is 52, racing driver, races Lamborghinis in the South African GT3 Championship. And we go and set out the goal and let's win the championship. And he laughs at me. He says, Cobus, I'm old. I'm doing this as a hobby. I hardly practice. I just show up for the races and race. And I'm doing it for fun. And I said, that's boring. But you all agree that's boring just to show up for racing day. Why not go for the win, right? And I convinced him and we said, we're going to do it for the company. We're going to do this campaign where we're going to become number one. One team, one band, one sound, one salary, one profit, one everything. So it's going to be this drive around whatever it takes. Even on his bar, when he looks up, was written whatever it takes. However, we realized because he hasn't exercised, so he commits to two times a week on the track, on the game console, you know, the game thing that they drive, getting his hands faster, so he had to up his speed. We looked at where he's losing time on the track, right? Pit stops, etc. So we've practiced that. You know, one way was you have to get out in the pit stop, out, run, walk around, and get back in again, and then you have to strap yourself. You know, if you can save 10 to 20 seconds there, and at the end of the day, I think we saved 25 seconds there in that process. You know, 25 seconds is a lot. That's like 5 or 10 laps type of thing. You know, if a lap is around a minute, it's like, if not more. But that's how fast it is. So we save time there. Then I said to him, the best is also to learn from pros. So we reached out to the pro Lamborghini drivers in Europe. They came back to them and they said, please give us your videos, right? We want to see how you race. And one thing they noticed, and this is where experts come in, where you get professional coaches. The coaches come to him and says, look, when on the corners, you brake too much. A Lambo is made you need to accelerate. The faster you accelerate, the better it is. So they got him to train to not drive on the brake, right? So when it's on the circle, to trust the car, to rather leave it and rather free flow through the circle. And then as the circle comes, or the corner turner is to full throttle it and it pulls it out, right? So we do it, we save up time. So the season goes. In the beginning, we ended up second, third, did not finish, a little bit of a slow start. But then we start winning and the season comes on. And it starts with him and his brothers doing very well, and 2 other brothers in Ferraris. So it's like Ferrari, Lambo at every race. It's those 4 on the top. But ladies and gentlemen, how amazing it is. It's the last race of the season. It's in Port Elizabeth, and we're driving. And it ends up that my friend is placed 3rd, and his brother is placed 4th. And the 2 Ferraris is in front. Whoever wins the championship, by the way. And remember, we're driving, and it's almost up. And I'm like, yes, you've almost got this. And he's like, Cobus, you know, thank you for awesome season. We're almost there. Best that we could do, whatever it takes. You know, we walk by faith. We did whatever it takes. And that's the nice thing about it. If you say, I would do whatever it takes, and you get the result, then you can sleep nice with the result, because you know you prepared whatever it takes way, you did whatever it takes. The best person won in the end of the day. You know, there's no hard feelings anymore. There's no like, oh, I should have done this, and I should have done that more, and I should have slept more. There's none of that. But here comes faith. And this is where I always want you to say, and this is what entrepreneurship has taught me, is to live by faith, right? So what is faith? Faith is when you know you've done everything. And he looked to God and says, God, it's now over to you. And as you drive, he just drove. And what's the chances, ladies and gentlemen, if you think about this, that the two Ferraris, both of them, right, runs out of petrol or gas on the last lap? Amazing. Can't think about the chances of that happening. And so what happens is him and his brother passes the two Ferraris. And at the end of the day, they win. And yeah, it's like, oh, can you believe it? It's like, that was the best feeling for me ever to have seen them pass that Ferraris into the straight and they won. And the nice thing about it is their dad of 76 plus years was also driving on his for Lambo. So 3 Lambos, and at the end of the day, all 3 ended up on the podium. You know, it's like, what a special moment for that. It's something that I will always remember. So, yeah. But anyway, that's part of whatever it takes. One thing that I've learned about this journey as well is how getting the wrong people involved with you in your life can affect you. And I want you to leave with it's that negative people might not seem negative in the beginning, but they have baggage that they bring with that affects you, that affects your mindset, that affects you cash flow wise, that can make or break you. So it's so important to be careful who you allow. In the past, we've helped a lot of, I think I've learned a lot in our family. We've helped a lot of people that wanted help and said, help us, and make a better life. We do a better life, but it's on us help. You're giving help to someone that doesn't really want help, because then they go mess up their life even more. And that's why it's so important that those people need to learn to survive by themselves. Finish and clear. You're not there to save people, right? I'm done saving people. I only invest those who want to walk the way, that is willing to make the changes, not say change, but is willing to do it. And so let's do that. Okay. Man, Third Love. This is episode 3. Yeah, just thought I'd do this. We start something. It's all the rest. It's to start tomorrow, Kragdag. And Friday and Saturday we had Kragdag. Please come and join us and celebrate with us. And yeah, until next time. Okay. So let me switch this off. Hope you enjoyed our session. Okay, so let's go quickly. Okay, so I have my 2 screens here as I come to my computer to just, as you notice, I'm a single entrepreneur. I have workers, but they're not here at my office tonight. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Okay, let's close that down. I'm going to do that. Guys, ladies, thank you for an awesome night. Those on TikTok, thank you for your support and love. Have a beautiful night. It was nice to be here. Let me end this and follow me, like me. See you next time. Okay. Okay, this side, see you soon. I'm going to end this.